Hey, welcome back to the Community Podcast. I'm Chase Johnson Lynch. You know me, but you might not know this gentleman, and you should. I'm here joined today by John Whittle, one of the two partners of Authentic Education and Training. And welcome, John.
Well, it's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
So I met your partner, Chris McGill, and everything like that. And, we've talked many times. I think even some of our staff has been through some training that you guys have on offer and everything. And I thought that, also it'd be great finding a little bit more, not just about you, but about what your company offers, because they offer some things that I think everybody wants to know about, should know about, and I think we could get right into the nitty gritty of it all.
Feel free.
Feel free. Okay, there you go. All right, so John, first of all, I usually ask people, what's the origin story, man? I mean, where you come from before you got involved with AET and Chris McGill and all that?
Years ago, I was supposed to go to university in 1979. I had such a good time. I never got my degree, so I went off and did other things. But in 1998, I decided to go back and I did an IT degree and then just kind of fell into teaching. Fell in love with it, really. The satisfaction you get when you're a teacher to actually, that you get from your students achieving and learning new things. And I knew then I was going to carry on being a teacher, and that's me being a teacher since 2001. I met Chris in 2008.
Well, before we get into that, I think you're burying the lead a little bit. We do a little pre-interview, before we start and stuff. And a lot of times people have really interesting pasts, and one of those things you told me about was something that you could sell over there in Prestatyn.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Prestatyn
North
market.
Wales, yeah.
Yeah, what was that?
Well, I was a market trader for maybe 10 years before I went back to school to get my first degree. And
Again, burying the lead. What you sell?
I sold toilet rolls, kitchen rolls.
That's right. That's what I want to get to, because I never met a man who said, I used to sell toilet roll.
Dishcloths, soap, nail brushes, you name it, toothbrushes.
You know what? I'm a big fan of To Serve a Love, Sidney Poitier. You remind me of one of those people that would be in those marketplaces and everything and stuff like that, except for without the Cockney
accent. Do you want to hear the
accent.
spiel?
The spiel?
Pink, peach, green and white. Come on down. The price is right. It's soft. It's strong. It's very, very long. And at this price, you can't go wrong. 5 Andrex seconds for £1. And it worked, and we sold a lot of them, and that was my living for many years.
I would have bought one. But I thought another fascinating thing about that story was this woman who you told me about, who came especially to see you.
From America. Well, she didn't come from America to see me. She came from America to see her family in London.
Obviously.
And one year she came onto the market on Prestatyn and bought a big pack of dishcloths. 100% cotton. And for the next 4 years, every time she came over to visit her family in London, she'd take a truck up to Prestatyn and bought another pack of large dishcloths, which she then took back to her.
And there you go. Here you are again.
Yeah.
I just thought
so you
that
finally
was
got to the lead.
Yeah, well, I thought it was fascinating, man. Come on, seriously. Why else talk to you if we don't get any of those fascinating stories? So then you said, before you say how you met Chris, just say a little bit about Chris, because her background is somewhat similar to yours, as you were telling me and everything.
Yeah, I don't know when Chris started teaching, but she's been teaching for same length of time as me, 19 years, 18 years, something like that. She started working with local community groups, I believe, over in Liverpool, for a company called Green Apprentices, getting people qualified and into organisations to work through apprenticeships. Then we kind of met in 2008, where we both were employed by a welfare to work company, where we work with unemployed people to try and give them the skills to get back into work and the confidence to get back into work, because as I don't know whether you know, but after a while, if you're unemployed, your self-confidence and your self-esteem takes a little bit of a nosedive.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
And truth is, everybody's got a lot to offer, but sometimes you forget that.
Also, you forget what's inside you that's important. You know, I mean, because if you're just focusing on making that money or survival, sometimes, you know, that's what I like about, like, we have a show called Stepping Stones where, you know, we look at the stepping stones to people's success. And, like, what we find on the journey is, like, everybody usually going down this road for a long time, but somewhere, somehow, they've turned left. And then that is where they found themselves into where they really want to be in the present day. But it's about, when do I get to turn left? I don't know. This is a maze. Every wall looks the same. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's in that aspect of, like, you could get stuck in a loop, you know, but it's great that there are people like yourselves. So, what I found interesting when you were telling me how you and Chris met at this organization, then you went on to somewhere else, she went on somewhere else. You guys just kind of like intertwined over the years, kind of like a DNA strand, you were saying, and everything, to the point where you finally came together to form AET. So tell me about that moment.
It was just a kind of synergy, I think. Chris was leaving a job that she was at with a large health and social care charity in the northwest of England. I was leaving my job in Wakefield, North Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, not sure which it is actually, for a local council where I was again working with unemployed clients to try and get them the skills and the confidence to apply and go back into work. And we both just said, well, why don't we try and do what we really enjoy but do it privately, which is teach people and train people. And we had certain skill sets together: health and social care, highly qualified teachers, first aid trainers. Chris was a health and safety trainer as well, and the things just fit together to give us a package for safety and education training that was just a nice, neat package that we could offer to customers and people out there.
And let me drop the obvious word: it brings a sense of authenticity.
It does.
You know what I mean? Because you are what you say you are on the tin, and you both had your different experiences, but also you've had working relationships together in the past, and it's kind of like, look, we have the same ethos. You know, and that's probably what made you...
Well, yeah, we do. We both believe in providing very high quality training, but also making it enjoyable.
If it's not enjoyable, it's not worth it, is it?
Well, it doesn't work.
Well,
if you don't enjoy your day when you're doing your training, whatever that course is, whether it's first aid, whether it's health and safety, or whether it's teacher training, if you don't enjoy it, you don't learn.
No.
You'll be sat doing that, or as I quite often got you've got groups at the end of the table, underneath, doing this. You don't know what I'm doing under the table, and you're at the front.
And I don't want to know what you're doing under the table. Yeah. So where were you guys located at then?
We have offices and training rooms in Kirby.
In Kirby?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I know you guys are hearing this weird buzzing. It's like aliens are in the room and everything like that.
Unfortunately, that is my phone.
No, unfortunately, he's an important man. So, in Kirby?
Yes. Which is on the way between Liverpool and Manchester. It's just about 3 or 4 miles outside. I'll put this on the phone.
It's still going to vibrate. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's still going to vibrate. Well, no matter where you put it. But, so now what I thought was really interesting is let's start to break down some of the things you guys have on offer, because what I thought was really interesting is that we were talking about you have a teacher training level 3 course.
Yes.
Is that right? Which is not like very easy, to get done, but also it's a main qualification for people who want to teach. Now, I was giving you a little bit of my backstory where, I actually, when I got my master's, I applied to do my teacher training in Southport College, and at that time in like 2005, it was called the post-16 compulsory, teaching, where it allowed me to teach FE and HE, but I had to do it for a year.
Yes.
And so people say, yeah, all right, man, so that's pedals, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, all right, pedals, kettles, whatever, dettles. But when I was talking to you about it, you was like, and then you had to do what? Like I had 3 observations, I had team teaching, I had this and that, all within like about 6 months to a year. And then you like, sounds like you did a level 4.
Yes.
I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Because I was just like, all right. But 6 months is a long time. 3 observations is a long time. But what you guys do is you get your teacher training level 3 done in 5 days.
We get the teaching part of it done in 5 days. The students have the option to take up to 6 months to put the work back in to gain their qualification. But if you really wanted to, and we've structured it so that you have a 3-day break between, we give the workbooks out before for prior reading, theoretically you could have it completed within a week or so of finishing with us.
So that's getting that qualification.
Getting that qualification in the same month in which you actually attend the training course, which is very good.
It is very good because like the whole point is that there are a lot of people, and there are probably a lot of people out there who may feel stuck in that maze that I was talking about before, where everything was the same, and I'm confused of where direction I want to go in. But like, do I want to spend 6 months, what you used to do when you had? I mean, I remember a lot of people, because this was on offer at that time. I remember a lot of people heard about that whole CERT at 7407, and everybody and their mother was trying to take this course, but it was like a long time. So this, I think, is a really good opportunity to understand, because, I think you said that you do like some a micro-teaching observation, right?
Yeah, the way it's structured is quite simple. There's 3 main units. People turn up for the course, they attend the course on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. There's a requirement for some written work. We've structured it so that you answer a bank of questions for each unit. Then you go away, we give you 3 days off to actually do that work. You come in and you've got a micro-teach element.
Yeah.
So in the safe environment, with students that you've been learning with for the past week, you perform a micro-teach, 15 minutes on whatever subject that you want. One of the most interesting ones was a gentleman who was a chef, and his 15 minutes micro-teach, and the rest of the students absolutely loved it, was how do you turn a tomato into a rose? And it's the way in which you peel it, and then you just put it on the plate, and it looks beautiful.
Now, this is what's really fantastic about this is that the confidence building, because first of all, I think anybody can attest to how bad their teachers have been. Right, Jack? I think anybody can attest to how bad their teachers have been. Because they end up with the teachers who are not motivated. They're not positive. They're aggressive. They're, and I mean, come on, we all know who those teachers are. But we all want a positive-minded, inspirational, motivational teacher. We want somebody who has a little bit of imagination. And the only way they're going to do that is to teach what they know, to teach what they like and enjoy. And it sounds like they're given that opportunity here with your course and everything to build their confidence into, yes, I can do this. And then here's an example of doing it. And here's all the different tools and pedagogical and Maslow hierarchy and all that stuff you have to know. But still, you mainly have to be personable.
Yes. The pedagogy, the theory. This is about
pedagogical theory. Yeah. Yes, you got to teach from what you know. All right, I told you I did this course. I did a level 4. Anyway, but one of the things that you happen to be known for, and you might say I don't like being known for it, or I don't mind being known for it, is first aid training.
Yes. And
stuff. And like, is it anybody could take this, or do they have to come to a company to do it?
No, anybody can do this.
Isn't that beautiful? Because usually, like, you're working for a job at a company, and the company demands that suggests that you go through the first aid training. But if I'm not working for a company, what if I want that first aid training skills? And here's an opportunity at AET. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, every month, if you wanted to, you can come down and you can do, which is a 1-day course. It's called the Level 3 Emergency First Aid at Work course. It takes a day. It's fun. You get to practice your life-saving skills, doing the primary survey, checking with somebody is breathing or not, If they're not breathing, what do you do?
Yeah. Well, we all know about that situation that happened, like that created the whole SIDS scenario where most places need defibrillators and everything like that because there was no defibrillator that was able to save each other.
It would be nice if everywhere did have defibrillators.
I know, exactly. But it'd also be nice if everyone had some kind of skill about knowing what to do if something happens.
That's part of the course.
I remember I was in a workplace and a woman who, I think we all were aware that she had epilepsy,
Yeah.
but you go, yeah, okay, epilepsy, okay, right, she's still who she is. But at one point she went into a seizure and had, and somebody said, don't put the spoon in her mouth. And we've seen that on TV in the old days anyway.
Yeah, it's one of the myths, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, but it's like,
it's a dangerous myth.
Exactly. And so, I froze, panicked, and everything like that as a person would and stuff. And I'm just trying to say is we all need first aid training, whether we're working for an organization or anybody else, and we all need the opportunity to grab first aid training.
Well,
Because
can I just say, in that situation, if it ever occurs again, all you do is look at your watch, look at the time that the seizure started,
exactly,
protect the person's head, move
exactly.
anything out of the way, and if the
you
seizure
can also
goes
clear
past,
their airways as well.
You won't. You don't touch the mouth. You don't put your finger anywhere near the mouth because
Sorry.
you might lose
Scratch
your
that.
finger.
I heard that. That's right. You might get your finger bit off. I knew.
Right. Okay. So you leave them and time it. And if it
I only
goes
said that because you thought it.
and if it goes past 5 minutes, call an ambulance.
Yeah. But it might just only be like something that happens for that time and the person can calm down. But like you just said, it's the observation that you have to do and not panic.
The important thing is you may know this person's subject to seizures.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's one thing. If you do, you would leave the person to recover, and then whatever their normal routine is. So this one-day course covers epilepsy, it covers basic life support, it covers rescue breaths. Another myth, people out there, it's been put around that you don't need to give rescue breaths anymore, you just need to do compressions. Bad news is, yes, you're not required to put breaths in anymore, but if you don't, the brain will start to die in 4 minutes. And unfortunately in the UK...
Get down and get kissing.
Yeah. Get your lips to their lips and put a little bit of air in there.
Yeah.
And that will keep them going for a long time.
No. But I thought you were going to say, because I think it is important, is that what they've added to the first aid training is how to do the baby compressions.
Oh, it's been there for a while, but you're right.
All right, well, when I took the training, I've taken it. I've taken it twice.
It always changes.
Well, but I just thought it was an important thing to say because I think that you were even just saying is like, Friday is grandbaby day or, and stuff like that. And like, so everyone has some kind of child in their life, if they have family and all that other kind of stuff. So that's, I think, for me, one of the most horrible things to be in that experience and not know what to do if a baby was choking. I saw a video on Facebook. I don't know if everybody else saw this. And it was a great video where it had a timestamp on it where this baby was choking and the mom did not know what to do. And the policeman came along and, he was doing the, the compression and everything like that. But the timestamp was going and you're like, oh my God, this baby hasn't breathed for like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? It was full on drama, but thankfully, the baby finally had come around, but it had some lines in its throat.
Yeah.
And everything. So
unfortunately, a child and the baby's throat, they're kind of the perfect size to get blocked by small bits of food. Grapes, horrible size for children.
Coins, but I think it was like a toy or something.
Yeah. If you notice, there's a very famous drink that children love these days. You pull the top up, bright red colour, and the top, the manufacturers now put holes in that top because there's a risk that it can go down the throat. Fantastic idea, it's not going to cause an obstruction. But that again is on the EFAW, the Emergency First Aid at Work course. We cover choking in adults, children, and with babies, infants, which is 0 to 12 months. And you can make a difference. Just having the first aid training, and if somebody right there out and about on the street, the chances of survival if somebody has a heart attack goes up from out of a hospital from 7% to around about 30%.
Mm-hmm.
If there's an AED, a defibrillator, and you can get that defibrillator to the person within 4 minutes, the rate of survival goes up to something like 70%.
Yeah.
With a good quality of life afterwards. So, as you brought up, defibrillators are really, really important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the most common things, like before I move on from that, is that like we always see in TV shows is the whole choking in the restaurant scene.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole choking in the restaurant scene, and it's like you gotta put your fist to the solar plexus, or they grab it like that, right? And you gotta grab them from behind.
And get it inwards and upwards.
Yeah. But it's always not as nasty as it really is in real life. But I mean, what do you think is the most common things that a regular average Joe person can come across that first aid training would be good to know about?
That's the choking aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I was hoping you'd do something new and different. But that is the
choking,
most common thing.
Heart attack. The one thing that we do cover now, which is, if you want, a relatively recent change, and especially with industry out there, a lot of people use serious power tools.
Serious what?
Power tools, cutting tools.
Oh, power tools, yeah. Like cutting their fingers off.
You can, cut your fingers off, and you can do serious cuts in your arms. The changes recently are that now, because of what happened on the Boston Marathon and the Ariana Grande, people save their own lives.
Oh, you mean the nail gun? Oh, yeah.
The tourniquets.
Yeah.
So now that we do teach on request the use of tourniquets, yes, which up to a couple of years ago, no, we wouldn't teach that.
I did a first aid training last year. I think that did come up and stuff.
Yeah, it's called serious bleeding.
Bleeding.
Catastrophic bleeding. And there are certain dressings out there now, rather expensive. They're called the hemostatic ones, but you could cut your femoral artery.
I'm sorry, man. I don't like blood.
No. And this dressing will stop the bleeding, and it will save your life. So out there, if you're working in industry, and there's a lot of industry around Liverpool, those techniques can make a big difference and make the difference between surviving and death.
So when you talk about tourniquets, you're talking about like kind of like stopping the blood pressure at a certain point, but you're not talking about chopping someone's arm or leg off.
No, what you're talking about is reducing the bleeding. Because
so you don't automatically have to do that. That's just like a movie, right? You have some time before you have to make that decision, right?
Well, you're a first aider. You won't be chopping anybody's arms off. But
that's what they try. I'm just saying, in the movie.
If you get a serious bleed,
mm-hmm.
for example, on the inside of your thigh, and it's on your femoral artery, it doesn't matter how it's caused.
Mm-hmm.
Up until a couple of years ago, the way of slowing down that bleeding was very difficult, very complicated. These days what we can apply a tourniquet and you reduce that bleeding. Mm-hmm. If you cut your femoral artery, you've maybe got 5 minutes before you're in shock and you're at serious risk of death.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. It bleeds at about 450 millilitres per minute.
All right, let's just understand Chase doesn't like blood, so let's move on. I know you...
The point is, on the EFAW course, if you choose to do that course, you do learn a lot of things can make a difference between survival and death, whether it's at home or at work.
You're just like one of those scared straight guys. You know what I mean? If I went to prison, the big difference, survival or death. All right, man. We're running on time. Food safety, that's another thing that you guys talk about.
Yes.
Just drop me just a little bit on that.
Oh, we're going to talk about bacteria.
Okay, do we? Are we talking about keeping your hands clean? Is that what you mean? Or
keeping your hands clean and not contaminating one food with another bacteria.
Oh my God, I could tell you about my college experience when I worked in the kitchen.
Oh, that would be full of bacteria.
Yes, it would be. Especially when the head chef was the one doing it. He would stick his hand in the pots of mayo to pull it out and everything like that. This is what you're supposed to do. And make tuna fish.
Yeah, not good at it. But yes, we do that as well. We do that as well. Everybody in the
Do
UK, if you work in a restaurant, you go into a Liverpool restaurant, you go into a bar, they will probably have had food safety training.
Hopefully.
To keep you safe.
You better had, or Gordon Ramsay.
Well, if they haven't, they can come to me. They can come to us and we'll give them that training.
Yeah. So, listen, let's look into the future, because that's what you guys are doing. But I asked you, like, if you could, where would you want to take AET to?
In the future?
Yeah.
This is our core business. It's the safety training, the education and training, and teaching people to pass on those skills. That is if you want, my passion is to do that. And on the Education and Training Award, we actually use the techniques that people can take away with them. Going forward, helping people or organisations to train their staff by giving them the tools needed and the knowledge needed in order to do that, and maybe help them to plan their training programs and their courses. So
yeah, you were talking about to be involved more into the design as opposed to the practicalities.
Yeah. To make their training, enjoyable, efficient, and economical.
Sounds great. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. What I want to do before we go is I want to promote the next training cycle for the teacher training level 3.
Yes.
That means that was your cue.
Yes. We've got a course coming up, a fast track course next month.
August, yeah.
In August. It starts in the second week. Anybody wants to inquire, you can just ring us up and we'll give you the details. 0151 546 5151.
All right, we don't give out phone numbers, but that's okay.
Or you can go to our website.
There we go. Yeah, Authentic Training. Hit me with the social again, authentictraining.co.uk or.
That's it. You just Google Authentic Training, you will see our website come up.
Are you the only ones that come up?
Yeah.
You the only ones who's authentic?
In this area, we will be, yeah.
Okay.
Google Authentic Training will come up. Or I think it's AET.limited on Facebook. AET.ltd
Yeah.
Facebook.
Well, no. This has been really fascinating. I hope that you felt it was really interesting as well. And everything. We shared some really good stories there, didn't we?
I felt on the spot, to be honest. I'm not used to interviews, but you made it enjoyable.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much.
That's my goal, is to make it enjoyable. And obviously, because I've asked Krista, she didn't want to do it. No, we're kidding.
That is not a surprise.
No, it's not. But it still was really, really good, man. I'm glad you guys were able to come in, talk about authentic education and training, as well as to promote the next training cycle that's coming up. Obviously, that is for the teacher training, but as you also said that you do the first aid training once a month, and obviously the food safety as well.
In our location in Kirby, we will once a month we will do the food safety, health and safety, emergency first aid at work, and we do the level 3 education and training award for anybody who wants to get into colleges, teaching or private training companies. We do that, but we'll also deliver this training in an organisation's location. So if an organisation wanted this,
so you're mobile.
Yes, half suitcase will travel with equipment, not a problem. You want a quick first aid course, we'll go in and deliver it. You want a quick food safety course, we'll go in and deliver it. We're not too big, we're not too small, but we're just about the right size.
We're just right. We're like the 3 little bears.
We're highly reactive. You could ring up this week, and if I've got a day free next week, I will come and deliver the course for you.
Yeah. Sounds fantastic. And also, it sounds personable as well. I would like to once again thank John Whittle from AET. It's part of Chris McGill in absentia and everything. And please follow them. You will see the information when we post this. Their logo and their information will be in the chat. And when this show is due to air on Monday, 11 a.m., it's Monday. So please, John and Chris will be in the chat. So if you want to ask them any questions, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's fair to say, right?
Yeah, and thank you for the opportunity to come and talk about my business. Or our business, I should say.
You better say that. Thank you once again. Thank you guys. Please, this has been a community podcast.